I'm KG Stiles with a special spring-summer forecast for 2012. Astro Highlights is sponsored by HealthMasterySystems.com, holistic products and services for body, mind, and soul, and PurePlantEssentials.com, organic aromatherapy. Please visit these websites today. There is a tremendous lineup of powerful celestial forces setting the stage for unparalleled opportunity to enliven growth and reap rich rewards on all levels. Today's show highlights include a final grand Earth trine activation for manifesting your true heart's desires on May 13th. This same day, Jupiter conjuncts the Sun, considered to be the luckiest day of the year. Then on May 15th, Venus in Gemini turns retrograde for 6 weeks. On May 20th, we have our first solar eclipse of 2012 with a new moon at 1 degree Gemini, followed by a lunar eclipse at 14 degrees Sagittarius on June 4th. The same day, Neptune in Pisces stations retrograde, and the very next day, on June 5th, Venus is eclipsed by the Sun. On June 11th, Jupiter moves into Gemini for a 1-year stay, and on the same day, Mercury in Cancer forms a T-square with the planets Pluto and Uranus, which are now moving to their first exact square on June 24th. The very next day, on June 25th, the planet Saturn moves direct in Libra, ending its 4.5-month retrograde phase. Then on June 27th, Venus stations direct, followed on June 29th by the Sun in Cancer, forming another T-square with the planets Pluto and Uranus. Then on July 3rd, we have a Capricorn Full Moon conjunct Pluto square to Uranus. Then July 13th, Uranus in Aries stations retrograde, followed the very next day on July 14th by Mercury station retrograde for a 3-week until August 7th. The same day, the planet Venus enters the sign of Cancer. On July 16, 17, 18, there's a grand cross activation between the planets Mars in Libra, Pluto in Capricorn, Uranus in Aries, and the Cancer moon. The Cancer moon is new on the 18th. On August 15th, Venus in Cancer forms yet another T-square with the planets Uranus and Pluto. We end the month on August 31st with a blue moon in Pisces, and the North Node, head of the Dragon, moves into Scorpio to stay until 2014. The North Node represents the direction in which we need to grow and evolve, and the sign Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, is all about regeneration, transformation, and healing. So there you have it. There are a lot of celestial events on the horizon. So listen in to today's show to find out what all these events mean for you and how you can benefit from these planetary alignments in your own personal life. After the close of today's Astro Highlights forecast, I'm going to give you the keyword themes for each of your houses, which will help you to know more specifically what the planetary events might look like for you in your own personal life. Let's start with a look at the final grand Earth trine activation with Mars and Pluto for manifesting your true heart's desires. On May 13th, Mercury, the planet representing the way you connect, communicate, and think, forms a lingering trine with Mars, the planet of drive, ambition, and action, and Pluto, the planet of regeneration and healing, which is exact on May 16th. Also on May 13th, Jupiter, the planet of good luck and expansion, conjuncts the Sun, the planet representing your essential life force. Considered the luckiest day of the year, when Jupiter conjuncts the Sun, we feel confident and easily able to express our inner inclinations. With this lucky combination of planets in practical and grounded Earth signs, your true heart's desires more easily manifest into earthly reality. On May 15th, Venus in Gemini turns retrograde for 6 weeks. We entered the shadow of the Venus retrograde cycle on April 12th. Venus has begun to slow down, and when Venus was at 7 degrees Gemini, this is the end point where Venus will reach its retrograde phase before turning direct again. During a Venus retrograde, we have an opportunity to review our true heart's desires in the area of our life represented by the house where Venus is currently located. Venus represents what attracts you and gives you pleasure. So Venus retrograde offers you an excellent opportunity to review your past loves and losses, to know exactly what you don't want, so you can get more clear about what you do want in this area of your life. Some of the ways this can manifest is old situations, things, and people that once attracted you or when your life may return for resolution and release. A missed opportunity may resurface. Venus retrograde attracts opportunities to forgive and release old patterns in your relationships that don't please you and where there is a lack of balance and mutuality. This is a time for inner self-nurturance and self-care. There can be a slowdown in this area of your life as you go through the process for deepening in your attracting what you truly want. You are learning how to give and receive love and pleasure on a new and deeper level in this area of your life. Venus in Gemini, ruled by Mercury, is very flirtatious, changeable, and flighty, so you could go quickly through numerous feelings, emotions, and attractions as you go through this retrograde cycle. It's a great time to review, but not to make a decision regarding what ultimately pleases you, especially anything that requires a long-lasting commitment. What you like this morning could be completely different by this afternoon. It is a great time, though, for the freedom and fun of trying numerous possibilities. On May 20th, we have our first solar eclipse of 2012 with a new moon in Gemini, followed by a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius on June 4th. The same day, Neptune in Pisces stations retrograde. You usually have an indication about what's about to be changed irrevocably in your life about 10 days before the solar eclipse. So around May 10th, you may receive some indication about what's about to change for the better. You'll have an opportunity to release completely from this area of your life any old patterns, memories, beliefs, or attitudes where the solar eclipse at 1 degree Gemini is located. The Gemini solar eclipse is located at the south node, the dragon's tail, which represents our past, where we've come from. The solar eclipse heralds a much-needed cycle of renewal for you, and you are now supported to seed new intentions for what you'd like to open the way to create new adventures and possibilities for in this area of your life. The changes can be sudden and far-reaching, with integration requiring up to 6 months or longer. Eclipses always come in pairs, and on June 4th, the lunar eclipse with a full moon in Sagittarius, located at the north node, the dragon's head, occurs on the same day as Neptune and Pisces stations as it stations retrograde. The very next day, Venus reaches its midway point in its retrograde phase and eclipses the sun. Our heart's desire receives the sun's life force for reclaiming something we loved from our past. The sun seeding of Venus gives birth to a new impulse for your future, which will manifest over the next 6 months or longer. Emotions may run extremely high during this time when you celebrate your accomplishments and welcome new opportunities, as well as release the old beliefs and attitudes, attachments, entanglements, heartache, and loss of your past. Suddenly, you're able to throw off the past without a backward glance. Optimism for your future and excitability are likely. Even positive changes can feel stressful, as there is a feeling of far-reaching expansion being activated as old dreams are completely released and new dreams and horizons come into view. Everything seems possible and can manifest rapidly for you over the next 6 months or longer. The eclipses have cleared the way and seeded your future with bright promises after clearing away any old clutter. Relax, let go of any resistance as things continue to speed up with the astrological events unfolding now. On June 11th, Jupiter, the planet of good luck and expansion, moves into Gemini for a one-year stay. Jupiter will expand your beliefs and what you believe is possible for you in this area of your life where it's located. As it's in Gemini, the twins, you will be exploring many options for yourself in this area of your life during this time. You'll feel freed up, much lighter to explore your options. There's conviviality, sociability, opportunities to network with like-minded others, expansion via the internet, connecting on the World Wide Web is highly likely. There's lots of opportunity for networking of all kinds. Jupiter in Gemini is lighthearted, can be flighty, flirtatious, and flavored by the house where it's located in your own personal chart. There's definitely a less heavy, serious mood to Jupiter's transit through the sign of Gemini, though it is very changeable. One day bright and full of promise, the next day momentary anxiety or depression could set in if things don't seem to be moving rapidly enough. Lots of contrast and thought processes. Let go of resistance to what is and flow, and very soon you'll flip to the opposite side of the thought spectrum. As Jupiter rules the higher mind, its transit through Gemini could help you to cultivate awareness and expand consciousness in this area of your life. Because Gemini is so flighty and changeable, you may need some help to stay focused, and hopefully you've been able to call upon and rely on some practical earth energy in your astrological chart to keep you grounded. Jupiter in Gemini is great for exploring options and changing your beliefs and attitudes, though it can feel like a very unsettled and unpredictable time. You could lack commitment for achieving long-term goals. Hopefully, during Jupiter's recent year-long transit through the sign of Taurus, you develop some healthy habits to see you through its transit of Gemini. As there are so many wonderful ideas coming and going as fast as they come, it could be challenging to make the most of the opportunities that will be available to you. Also, on June 11th, the same day as Jupiter moves into the sign of Gemini, the planet Mercury, which rules Gemini, and now in Cancer, forms a grand T-square with the planets Pluto, the transformer, and Uranus, the awakener. This grand T-square energy between Mercury, representing your thought processes, and Uranus and Pluto will feel extremely intense. It's a time when dark and fearful thoughts could erupt. It's a great time to meditate, calm your mind with aromatherapy oils, take long cleansing showers and baths, swim in the ocean or a creek, walk on the earth barefoot, lean your backside against the trunk of a strong tree, and know this energy passes quickly. It's a Monday when the Mercury-Uranus-Pluto T-square is exact, and you might consider planning ahead to take a long weekend and some downtime to relax your mind and unplug completely. The planets Pluto and Uranus are moving toward their first exact square on June 24th, and the very next day, on June 25th, the planet Saturn moves direct in Libra, ending its 4.5-month retrograde phase. Then on June 27th, Venus stations direct, followed on June 29th by the Sun in Cancer forming a T-square with the planets Pluto and Uranus. So we have an 18-day long window of sudden unfolding celestial events, setting up dramatic breakthrough and change for you personally as well as collectively, when sudden dramatic events on the world stage are likely. Remember to pace yourself and breathe your way through the changes likely to occur. Only that which does not serve you will fall away. Breathe and relax. Wonderful events could be suddenly occurring, as well as dark emotions and old fears could suddenly erupt within this same time period. Saturn's move direct in Libra will give relief to the buildup of tension created by the square between Pluto and Uranus, though because Saturn rules Capricorn, an earth sign, this could indicate a physical release of tension for our Earth, with resulting earth changes possible, such as earthquake or volcanic eruption. As the T-square energy between Uranus and Pluto involves the planets Mercury, the Sun, and Venus, all in Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by the Moon, which represents our hidden emotions and often associated with the archetype of the mother. So again, there could be a release of tension and changes experienced within the depths of our own psyches, as well as for Mother Earth during this time. We have to wait and see how things exactly work themselves out energetically to create balance between the forces at play. We are being evolved, and incredible opportunities for rapid change are upon us. Venus moves direct on June 27th, ending our review of what attracts us and gives us pleasure. We've let go of old relationship patterns, reviewed our habits in diet and nutrition. It's been a great time to pamper yourself at the spa, get a massage, entertain with friends, be friendly, outgoing, and sociable, create new networks and connections, and chat with friends. Now we feel lighter, freed up from our past commitments, and ready to forge ahead in this area of our life. Still, what attracts you and gives you pleasure may as yet be changeable and flighty, though certainly fun until Venus moves out of Gemini and into Cancer, August 7th. On June 29th, the Sun, which represents your essential sense of selfhood, now in Cancer, forms a T-square with the planets Pluto and Uranus, having just recently formed their first exact square on June 24th. There will be a slow buildup of this T-square after the exact square between Pluto and Uranus. So you may be feeling this as a slow tension and pressure for release that builds over several days until you feel you have to explode and erupt like a volcano. Again, you might consider taking some vacation time to relax during this period. You'll feel this energy is very personal and close to you as it involves the Sun, and you may feel defensive or under attack. These forces are so pervasive and potent that the likelihood is that rather than face them within yourself for integration, you may project them onto someone else or even a group of people. Us versus them mentality may strongly surface at this time. This process allows you to become aware of energies needing balance and integration within yourself, but it requires a lot of maturation and consciousness to go through the process of integration and realize what the projection represents for you personally. Be still and allow whatever tensions that surface to dissipate naturally. Through contemplation, you'll be shown the way through and reach a powerful resolution that results in tremendous evolution of consciousness for yourself and our planet. There's never been a more crucial time to engage in the process of self-mastery for evolutionary growth and change. This is the opportunity many of us were seeking when we first incarnated as souls. On July 3rd, we have a Capricorn full moon conjunct Pluto and square to Uranus, which will feel emotionally very intense as things build to a crescendo for completion and release in these areas of your life, as things need to shift and new levels of experience can be realized. On July 13th, Uranus in Aries stations retrograde, followed the very next day on July 14th by the planet Mercury in Leo's station retrograde for a 3-week until August 7th, the same day that Venus moves into the sign of Cancer. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury and awakens your ability to envision and attract higher frequency thoughts. Mercury and Uranus are in an easy-flowing trine to one another during this time of Mercury's retrograde, which is excellent for uncovering old thinking patterns that are not working for you, that may be sabotaging progress in this area of your life where Mercury and Uranus are located. Your mind will become very active during this time. You may find yourself going over and over things from your past that you need to resolve, or perhaps reframe in a way that empowers you and your future visions for yourself. You'll be disengaging yourself from old ways of thinking. You may have many brilliant insights and be able to renegotiate matters in the area of your life where Mercury is located that are more harmonious and workable for you at this time, provided you realize and release the thoughts that don't work and are willing to activate new ways of thinking. On July 16, 17, 18, there's a grand cross activation between the planets Mars in Libra, Pluto in Capricorn, Uranus in Aries, and the Cancer moon. The Cancer new moon is on the 18th. This is a real breakthrough opportunity, both personally and collectively. As a moon rules our deepest emotional needs, you could feel an intense desire to protect and hold on to the past and what represents security for you. Grand Cross energy represents the sacrifice of something that you may deepen in your faith and trust in yourself to attract positive outcomes and know that life loves you. This often entails releasing old patterns of fear and limitations so that you may rise phoenix-like and create a whole new paradigm for yourself. This may be felt as the most intense celestial event of the summer, depending, of course, upon where it is located in your own personal astrology chart. How you experience and integrate the energies being catalyzed is entirely individual. On August 7th, as Mercury stations direct, your thinking will feel refreshed and renewed as you feel you can now move forward in this area of your life. On this same day, Venus moves into Cancer, and you'll be more inclined to focus your attention in your home. You'll feel the need for time to nurture and protect what you love and hold most dear. There can be a tendency to nostalgia and holding on to the past when confronted with the need to make changes related to this area of your life, where on August 15th, Venus in Cancer forms a T-square with the planets Uranus and Pluto. This can feel extremely intense, as what we hold sacred and dear in our hearts and that which gives us the most feeling of security breaks down in order for a breakthrough to occur. Our deepest fears related to this area of our life may surface for release. There is renewal and rebirth awaiting, and something far more satisfying and rewarding for you, which will come in the very near future. But first you must let go of the old attractions and pleasures of your past that no longer serve your greater good. On August 23rd, Mars enters Scorpio for a 2.5-month stay, activating and warming up this area of your life for change. Mars precedes the planet Saturn's move into Scorpio in October for a 2.5-year stay, when this area of your life will undergo profound change through restructuring the material form and circumstances for the better. Saturn is the taskmaster and brings mastery through consistent effort and self-discipline. We end the month of August with a blue moon in Pisces. A blue moon happens once each year. This is the second full moon in August, and it's in dreamy and idealistic Pisces, so we may realize some of our fondest dreams and wishes or false hopes, and have an opportunity to release any illusions that may be preventing the realization of our true heart's desires and dreams that will truly satisfy our soul. On the same day, August 31st, the North Node, head of the Dragon, enters Scorpio to stay until 2014. The North Node represents the direction in which we need to grow and evolve, and the sign Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, is all about regeneration, transformation, and healing. Well, that's it for this episode of Astro Highlights. Thanks so much for joining me. If you'd like to take a look into how these and other important astrological cycles may be affecting you personally and how you can benefit, please contact me for your own personal astrological mapping session through my website at kgstiles.com. Be sure to check out my interview published in the Locals Guide of Ashland, Oregon, entitled Your Authentic Blueprint, in which I talk about astrological mapping, its many uses and benefits, and how it serves as your perfect guide to living a happy and fulfilled life. The link for the article appears below this YouTube. Now, as promised, I'd like to give you a quick review of the keyword themes for each of your houses with the astrological sign that is natural to each house and its planetary ruler. This brief guide will help you to know more specifically what the planetary events I've given you on today's show might look like in your own personal life. Just look in your natal horoscope chart and locate the house where the astrological event is occurring by its sign for greater depth of insight and understanding. The first house, the natural placement of the sign Aries, is ruled by the planet Mars. Your first house represents your persona, how you want the world to see you, and your physical appearance and presentation. The second house is the natural placement of the sign Taurus, ruled by the planet Venus. The second house represents your values, your self-worth, and your personal resources. The third house, natural placement of the sign Gemini, is ruled by the planet Mercury. The third house represents how you connect and communicate, your thought processes and patterns of thinking. The third house represents modes of transportation like autos, planes, trains, and communication like computers and telephone. The third house also represents your early childhood environment, neighbors, and neighborhood. Fourth house is the natural placement of the sign Cancer, ruled by the moon. The 4th house represents your foundation, your home, security, and is the most private area of your personal life. The 5th house is the natural placement of the sign Leo, ruled by the sun. The 5th house represents fun, romance, children, creativity, and investments and risks. The 6th house is the natural placement of the sign Virgo, ruled by the planet Mercury. The 6th house represents your daily routine, habits, work, service, health, and is the house of the apprentice, where you hone your craft. The 7th house is the natural placement of the sign Libra, ruled by the planet Venus. The 7th house represents your relationships, contracts. Therapy and counseling are also represented by this house. The 8th house is the natural placement of the sign Scorpio, ruled by the planet Pluto. The 8th house represents resources from others, shared resources, intimacy with others, and hidden secrets. Insurance, death, and taxes all are represented by the 8th house. 9th house is the natural placement of the sign Sagittarius, ruled by the planet Jupiter. The 9th house represents the higher mind, beliefs, spirituality, and religion, long-distance travel, foreigners, higher education, teaching, and publishing. 10th house is the natural placement of the sign Capricorn, ruled by the planet Saturn. The 10th house represents your standing in the world, your profession, recognition, honors, and marriage. 11th house is the natural placement of the sign Aquarius, ruled by the planet Uranus. The 11th house represents your friends, social network, community, hopes, dreams, and wishes, and is the house of gains. The 12th house is the natural placement of the sign Pisces, ruled by the planet Neptune. The 12th house represents karma from past lives, ancestral karma, your personal and collective unconscious, institutions like hospitals, and is the house of faith and fears. Well, that's it for a brief review of the themes for each of the 12 houses in the zodiac and their rulers. Thanks again for joining me. Until next time, wishing you success and all good things, I'm KG Stiles with your Astro Highlights.